There are a handful of mindset shifts around AI that completely changed how my business operates, and I'm not talking about prompting tips or which model to use. I'm talking about the underlying way that you think about what AI actually is and what it's for. Most people are still treating it like a fancy search engine where they type a question, they might get an answer, and they close the tab. And when that's the lens, yeah, it's a cool toy. Maybe it saves you 20 minutes here and there, but not exactly life changing. But there's a different way to look at it, and once it clicks, the gap between you and everyone else starts to widen pretty fast. Not because you're working harder, but because you stopped thinking like an employee and started thinking like a business owner. I've been running these systems in my own business, watching what actually moves the needle, and there are 7 specific shifts that I keep coming back to. So that's what this is. 7 mindset shifts for the era we're actually in right now. Shift 1 is that prompting is planning, not coding. There's this assumption that to get real value out of AI, you need to be technical. You need to know how to build things, write code, understand APIs, and that's kept a lot of sharp business owners on the sideline much longer than they should have been. The reality is the skill that matters most right now is clarity of thought. If you can articulate what you actually want, the goal, the constraints, the context, the AI can handle the execution. The people winning with this, they're not the best engineers. They're the ones who can think in first principles and communicate precisely. That's it. That's the unlock. The shift is stop thinking about AI as a technical tool and start thinking about it as a planning surface. 80% of the work is defining the problem well. The AI does the rest. Another way to put it, you're not a developer, you're a director. Directors don't operate the camera. They make sure everyone on set knows exactly what they're there to do. Or even simpler, the quality of your output is just the quality of your thinking made visible. AI doesn't hide unclear thinking, it amplifies it. Shift 2 is stop searching and start generating. The internet has trained us to hunt. You have a problem, you Google it, you click 6 tabs, you stitch together something from other people's solutions in YouTube videos, and maybe 45 minutes later you have an answer that's close but not quite right for your situation. That whole process now is obsolete. Whatever I need, a framework, a workflow, a contract template, a cold outreach sequence, I don't go looking for it anymore. I describe my exact situation to AI and have it generated from scratch, specific to my context. The output, it's not perfect the first pass, but it takes 10 seconds to get a starting point and not 45 minutes. And editing something, it beats staring at a blank page every single time, right? The mental shift here is from find the answer to make the answer. Or stop being a hunter, start being a builder. Hunters depend on what already exists. Builders make exactly what they need. And in the simplest form, if a template doesn't exist for your exact situation, that's not a problem anymore. It's just a prompt away. All right, so shift 3, you're not a solo operator anymore, right? This one reframes everything. Most business owners, especially when they're scaling, are still mentally treating themselves as the person just doing all the work, but with some help now. But the actual frame that changes behavior is thinking of yourself as the CEO of the operation, where you have access to an infinite, always-on workforce that costs basically nothing and never sleeps. The catch is they only do exactly what you tell them to do. The quality of your output is a direct reflection of the quality of your direction. So if you're still doing tasks that could be delegated to an AI agent, formatting, research, data entry, first drafts, that's a management problem and not a capacity problem. The shift is, what's on my plate right now that actually isn't CEO work? Put it this way, if you wouldn't pay a full-time employee to do the task, you definitely shouldn't be doing it yourself when an agent can do it in seconds. And the bluntest version, well, delegating used to require headcount and a budget. Now it just requires good instructions. 4 is the blank page is now dead. Creative paralysis, it used to cost real time. Sitting in front of an empty document or notepad, not knowing how to start something, burning an hour before we even have words on the page. That problem just simply doesn't exist anymore. And I think a lot of people intellectually know this, but they just haven't kind of internalized it yet because they're still waiting for some kind of inspiration before they open the AI. Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us, we get to work. The workflow that actually works is get something on the page, even if it's rough. A mediocre first draft from AI is infinitely more useful than a perfect idea that never gets started in the first place. You're always going to be a better editor than you are a blank page generator. So let the AI be sloppy so you can be the one who sharpens it up. Another framing, you don't have to wait for that muse anymore. You're not waiting for inspiration to strike. It's just time to open the tab, choose something, and get to it. Or simply put, a writer's block is a you problem now and not the AI problem. The blank page is always optional now. Mindset shift 5 is that done beats perfect, especially in the beginning. The first version of anything you build with AI is not going to be what you imagined. It's not going to be Jarvis from Iron Man, I promise you that. There will be gaps, edge cases it doesn't handle, outputs that miss the mark. That's normal. That's not a reason to wait. Getting something to a working state puts you ahead of 90% of people still refining in theory, because once it's live, you have real data, real friction points, real feedback, and now we can iterate in hours instead of months. The shift is from launch when it's ready to launch so it can get ready, okay? Don't launch once it's perfect, launch it so it can get perfect. Another way to say it is that a running system with flaws beat a perfect system that only exists in a doc or someone's mind. And the simplest version is that you can't improve what you haven't shipped yet. So start shipping. Mindset shift 6 is fail in production fast. It's related to the last one, but different. This one is specifically about running your systems in real world on purpose, even knowing that they'll break. The cost of failure in AI systems is close to zero right now. You patch a prompt, adjust a workflow, update instruction. The iteration loop is so fast that waiting for a zero error rate before you deploy means you never deploy. And the bugs you find in production are always more useful than the ones you imagined in planning or when you were testing yourself. So build it, run it live, watch where it breaks, and fix it. That's the actual development cycle. Speed beats perfection in this environment, and willingness to break things on purpose can actually be a competitive advantage. Another framing for this is that bugs aren't failure, they're instructions. Every break tells you exactly what to fix next. Or even simpler, the people who are waiting for perfect are working for the people who ship just good enough. All right, shift number 7 is going to be that consumption is not progress. And this one is the hardest to admit because it feels like work, right? Reading every AI newsletter, watching the launches, keeping up with every new model, it creates this sensation of staying ahead, of being informed. But if the reading isn't converting into dollars and it actually changing your business, then it's just expensive distraction. The shift is from consuming information about AI to producing results with it. Sit down, open the tool, talk with it. Have it answer the thing that you were about to Google or put in YouTube. Build the thing you've been thinking about. The compounding actually ends up happening in the doing and not the knowing anyways. Another way to put it is that knowing what's actually possible and actually doing it are two completely different games. Most people are playing the first one and calling it preparation. In the bluntest version, watching someone else use AI well, it does not make your business better. Using AI every day does. So those are the 7 shifts, and really they're all connected to the same core idea that AI doesn't change how much you know, it changes how much you can execute. The constraint was always bandwidth, time, headcount, capacity, and those constraints are largely gone for anybody who's willing to operate differently. The businesses that figure this out in the next 18 months are going to look very different from the ones that didn't. Not because they had more resources, because they had a different frame of mind. That's all I've got on this one today. I hope you enjoyed the video. This has been Nolan Grout. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you're trying to automate inside of your business using AI agents. I'm genuinely curious to know. Like, subscribe, hit the hype button, do all that YouTube stuff. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.